This video will provide you with an overview for RP number 6, which is the method section in this class. So for this semester, it's due Friday, April 16th before 11:59 p.m. And in this particular RP assignment, you will have two different portions within this method section. So you'll have your measures and analytic strategy sections. In addition to those two overarching kind of like subheadings there, whenever you are referring to prior research to support your inclusion of variables or to illustrate how you're following previous research for coding, then you would also need to include the in-text citation in addition to the reference list citation for that. If you mention the actual data set that you're using in your analyses, then that would also be needed. That would also need to be cited in the reference list, okay? So in general, this section is probably going to be about 2 to 4 pages double spaced. And yeah, so we'll go from there with these details. So in this section, you'll have your measure section. This section is going to describe each of the variables that are included in your analyses. So recall that this section needs to be detailed enough that if someone wants to replicate your analyses, that they can do so, okay? So keep that in mind. But in any case, you will need to describe your dependent variable, your independent variable, and then also your control variables, okay? For each of the variables that you are describing, you need to be very specific in how you are operationalizing them, okay? So anything that you describe about the variable should be in-depth enough that if I wanted to, I could go in SPSS or PSPP and duplicate exactly what you've done. So for instance, if your outcome is engaging in violence, don't just say my outcome variable or dependent variable is engaging in violence, because I have no idea how to code that, right? Because you haven't described it adequately. So this is an example of how you might go about describing it in more detail. So it's a binary variable, aka a dichotomous variable, that indicates whether respondents were involved in a physical fight in the previous year. So that's one example. Note though, if you were to do this, you would have to say, how is it coded? It's coded 1 for people who did engage in violence and 0 for people who did not engage in violence. So you have to make sure that you're including the actual values that correspond to that. Alternatively, maybe another example, a different variable, say your variable was not a binary variable. You could say violence is a continuous variable that reflects how many violent acts that the respondents were involved in the year before the interview. In that case, you'd need to specify. It ranges from 0 to 5. 0 indicates involvement in no fights or violent events. 1 indicates involvement in one event, right? So you'd have to be very specific in defining each of those, okay? You'd also want to make sure that you are indicating exactly what questions that you are using. So that way, if I go to your code book for your data set, that I know exactly which questions or variables that you've utilized. Perhaps you've combined a few questions into one variable, that I know exactly which ones that you used. In that case, you can directly quote them from the code book. That's fine. And then additionally, with the questions, you would also want to make sure that you're clearly outlining what the response options were. So again, you can use quotes from the code book to say, a response option of 1 indicated that respondents engaged in 1 violent act in the year before, whatever the actual question said, and then whatever actual response the respondents saw, okay? In this question here, how did you code the variable? So again, that would be referring to what each variable that you're using was coded as. So was it just one question that you utilized and it was a dichotomous question, yes or no? Did you take into account multiple questions from the code book and you summed them all together? Did you take in multiple questions and you averaged them all together? All of that needs to be detailed enough that your analyses can be replicated, okay? If you're not really sure how to code something or you don't know where to start, say engaging in delinquent behavior is your outcome, and you're like, well, I don't know what to include in my variable, or you don't know how to code it. One of the best places to start is to look at prior research that's been published using your data set. So for instance, if I wasn't sure how to code delinquency in the National Longitudinal Study of Adolescent to Adult Health, I'd look, aka AdHealth, I'd look at previous studies that have used AdHealth and see how they code delinquency, okay? If you're following previous research, you need to make sure that you are citing previous studies. So if you're saying, for instance, you followed Smith and Jones in 2005 and to measure alcohol abuse, you'd need to include that citation. So you'd include the in-text citation, and then you would also include that longer citation in the reference list, okay? So each of those things are applicable to describing your independent, dependent, and control variables. When it comes to control variables, one of the other things is that in general, the justification for control variables is largely if there's some other outside variable that likely has an influence on your independent variable or your dependent variable, then you would use that as a control variable, okay? So say if you're looking at the association between sex and delinquency, you're hypothesizing that men are more likely to engage in delinquency than women. Well, what's something that likely has an influence on either sex or delinquency? Well, age. There's a lot of research that suggests that age influences involvement in delinquency. So age would be something important to control for. So again, there's some pretty common control variables that I've listed there: race, ethnicity, sex, gender, age, income, education, etc. Those are almost always included as controls. So if you have any of those in your data set that you can control for, that would be fantastic. But if you have some other kind of controls or you're not really sure, you can always use previous research to support what control variables that you're including, okay? And then I did want to just point out here that at this point you haven't ran the analyses yet, so you don't necessarily have all the details and what's expected in the results section. Right now you're just preparing to run the analyses, right? So in the results section, you will, and that's going to be in RP7, you will be required to provide univariate, aka descriptive statistics, for any of the variables that you're including, well, your focal variable, so your independent variable and your dependent variable. And then you will be required to include bivariate statistics between your independent and dependent variable. So what's the association between those two variables? Now, in the results section, RP7, not this one, you may choose to include univariate statistics, aka descriptive statistics, for your control variables. You're not actually required to do that, but if you want to, you can. But so ultimately, you may not actually be presenting analyses with your control variables, but they should still be included in your method section for RP6, okay? So you should say what variables you would control for. Ultimately, your results section might not show analyses for your control variables. If you don't get that far, that's okay, but you need to outline what you would include, okay? So then after you describe the ways in which you code each of your variables, you'll have an analytic strategy section. So that's going to describe exactly what analyses you ran, or that you're going to run, to make any conclusions about your research question, okay? So you're going to describe the analyses that you're using. Usually that section will start with, again, I know it's a little repetitive, but another statement about your research question, and then it will explain exactly how it's going to analyze the association between your two variables. So usually that includes at least a statement on your univariate, aka descriptive statistics, and then a statement on your bivariate analyses, and then a statement on multivariate or multivariable analyses. So I have some examples here. So for descriptive statistics, you would outline to examine the descriptive statistics of your variables, you examine the mean for delinquency involvement. You examine the proportion of respondents who are black. Whatever is applicable to your variables, you would say for each variable, what type of univariate analyses are you examining? And then for your bivariate analyses, you essentially are going to choose which sets of analyses, which types of analyses are you utilizing for your examination between your independent and dependent variables, okay? So maybe that's a chi-square, maybe it's a crosstab, maybe it's a logistic regression, right? Ultimately, and I will say, so ultimately what you're choosing for these analyses will be dependent on the types of variables that you have. So if you have a dichotomous outcome variable, then, for instance, a logistic regression is applicable. However, if you have a continuous outcome variable, then you would use OLS, which is ordinary least squares regression. So what type of variables that you've coded and discussed in your method section or your measure section up here will influence what your analytic strategy is even applicable to. So that will be information that will come later on in some of these recorded lectures, okay? So right now, you may not know which of these analyses to choose, but in the next week or so, the lectures will explain and help you figure out which one that you'll actually choose, okay? And then lastly, if you get to multivariate or multivariable analyses, then you would want to also describe that. Again, a bivariate analysis is the association between two variables, independent and dependent variable. A multivariate or multivariable analysis is one that involves more than two variables, so your independent and dependent variable and control variables. So this is not something that's required for your final paper. If you want to and you feel you are moving along and you'd like to attempt multivariable analyses, you can, but it's not required. So that statement might not be in your RP6, okay? And then the reference list, as usual, you know the information on this, that if you include citations in text, they need to be in the reference list and vice versa. They should be following APA format, etc., etc. So I also have a grading rubric here in case you need that. That just shows you how I kind of break down the points for grading, okay? So last thing I want to do is show you our on-course page. So I'm currently logged in as a student, so this is what it should look like for you. So to find that document of the instructions, I'm just going to scroll down here. RP6 is due before 11:59 on Friday, 4/16, so it's under week 11, okay? So if we click on this RP6, the submission slot, it will show you the instructions there. And I see a typo here that I will edit that now. So it's due before Friday, 4/16, okay? So that's where those instructions were that I just went through. There's also an example RP6, so a student's example that I have graded that you can look at too, okay? So that's what's due with RP6 before the end of the day on Friday, 4/16. Prior to actually doing that, you'll see for this week, which is week 10, that you'll have a few different lectures and things that you'll need to watch. Again, all of this is going to be outlined in the syllabus, so you'll know exactly what to watch and when, and that will all help you to complete RP6. So at this moment in time, watching the instructions, you may not know how to complete RP6 yet, and that's okay, because you haven't watched the recorded lectures that tell you how to actually code variables yet, okay? So just keep that in mind, but if you have any questions moving forward, just let me know and we can go from there.